They were somehow suspicious. They brought them to the station, and we were able to establish that the badges all of them had were reading Chief Executive Officers of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We have contacted the regional manager, Eastern Region, who is sending his team to come and verify whether these are genuine employees of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
Kitui Police OCPD Peter Karanja confirmed the incident and urged the area residents to be vigilant and report any suspicious cases.
We are urging members of the public to be on close lookout should there be members purporting to be either police officers who are not able to identify themselves positively, to make a call to the police or the DCI for action to be taken.
The suspects are being held at Kitui Town Police Station, awaiting further investigations. Anthony Kwemoi, K24 TV.
The church's focus is on ensuring a better afterlife. However, it plays a significant role in earthly, environmental and nature conservation. This principle has driven one Kenyan church to launch nature conservation and preservation initiatives, including biannual tree planting and designated Sundays dedicated to teaching congregants about the importance of environmental preservation. This week on The Voice of Nature, we explore the impact of the green gospel on the environment, striking a balance between faith and conservation. David Kagina reports.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. On the first day, light was created, followed by the sky on the second. On the third day, dry land, seas, plants and trees were created. On the fourth, the sun, moon and the stars. On the fifth day, creatures of the sea and sky were created. On the sixth, land animals and finally humans. After that, God looked upon his creation and declared it good.
Responsibility over our creation comes all the way from the Garden of Eden, where God says to Adam and Eve that they should keep and they should feed. It means that they have to nurture the nature.
When God created Adam and Eve, he instructed them to take care of earth. And by that time, there was no word pollution. Therefore, God created the world that was pure.
However, despite the marvels of creation, Kimani Mungai, a congregant at Word of Life Church, observes degradation of nature, including climate change, has become prevalent due to human actions.
I think there's a lot of carelessness in the way that we dump waste. You know, for example, how we handle our waste. We are not careful where we throw it, like I've seen even here. We are finding plastics, you know, in the swamp, which is really negative. In the sea and the lakes, we are seeing also a lot of plastics around, which are really wrong, and it's wrong. And then the whole issue of cutting down trees and cutting down good environmental spaces to put up concrete spaces, which is like our cities, what our cities and our towns look like, are really, we are not being good stewards.
He further highlights the global and national threat of air pollution, declining wildlife populations due to drought, and most recently, unprecedented floods from excessive rainfall, which led to over 200 lives lost and over 200,000 climate-induced internally displaced persons in Kenya.
We all know what's happening with climate change, the challenges that the world and even Kenya and Africa and Kenya are going through. We just came from drought 3 years ago and then excessive rains in the last 10 or so months. So it's clear what climate change is doing to us.
Keeping this in mind, Word of Life Church, under the leadership of Reverend Kasuku, has embarked on environmental restoration and conservation through member initiatives like tree planting.
So the responsibility of the church today is just to go back to the Garden of Eden as God has instructed us to keep it, because in our environment is where we find our food, it's where we build our houses, it is where we find shade when it is heavy raining or when it is so hot.
Their focus is on Ondiri Forest in Kikuyu, one of the sources of the Nairobi River. This initiative is undertaken in collaboration with the Nairobi River Commission, Friends of Ondiri, and the Kenya Forest Research Institute, K24.
The church must speak out when there is cases of environmental pollution, and at the same time, the church must be at the center stage of any conservation effort, because it is an instruction. Actually, it was not a request that man should take care of earth. It was an instruction.
Reverend Kasuku emphasizes that while Christians are considered pilgrims on earth, they have a role in its restoration, preservation, and conservation.
God created the environment before He creates man. We can't live without our environment. Killing our environment is killing ourselves.
In fact, the country has banned the use of single-use plastics. We need to honor that and stay at that. And as Christians, I think we need to lead by being an example and showing that we are really following and doing what is right in terms of conserving our environment.
David Wakoge, a member of Friends of Ondiri Forest, challenges Christians to hold their personal and group prayer sessions in green spaces. This serves not only to reconnect with nature, but also to experience its benefits for humankind, acting as a stark reminder of the results of responsible environmental use.
Majority of the churches we have in Kenya are urban churches, and you find that even the congregants do not have spaces where they can go and interact with nature. We know that petitions, prayers, most of the time are done in solitude, in quiet places. And the most quiet places on earth are found in nature. Ondiri has a circumference of 3.3 kilometers. It has some spots that can be used for prayers. It has spaces that can be used for worship, for fellowship, and whereby the church can feel the closeness to nature.
A solemn call is made for people of faith to join efforts in preserving Mother Nature. To further support the church's role, Word of Life Church has undertaken initiatives such as biannual tree planting exercises.
I think it all starts from the leadership of the church. I mean, it starts from the pastor himself. And the first thing I think to do it is teaching. Because the base, the foundation of the church is teaching. And I believe that the first thing to do it is to teach the people a right attitude toward our environment.
Today I feel happy that the church has taken up this matter, and we have been able to grow around 500 indigenous species.
God created the environment before He created the man. So we are responsible of creating our environment, beautifying our environment, taking care of our environment, so that it can also have an impact in our personal life, and why not for the generation to come? Because I believe that even our children, they need to learn a lot about the responsibility they have toward our environment.
Unique to their approach is the dedication of certain Sundays to the Green Gospel in collaboration with government and non-governmental organizations, reminding and educating congregants about their role in nature preservation.
The second thing I can say, it is training. Because beyond teaching, there is training. What I mean by training is our eyes should be open on this area of our ecosystem. So training means that to come to a place where we comply with the proper concept related to the environment, and to build what I can call some expertise which will help the community where we are to handle the problems related to our environment. Because teaching is one thing, training is also something else.
David Kagina, K24 TV.
Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Ushinde hadi mara 5,000 ya beti yako teke teke. Yes, and it's that simple.